Hey, boys and girls, lesson 6, part 1. Mr. Anderson here. Going to take you through exactly how to do this. Let's get started right away. So, this lesson is just an overview. It's just telling you how can we make our programs behave differently each time they run. This is really important when you get into the idea of creating a game where you want the character that's in the game to be able to react differently depending on if it, for example, if you remember Hungry Bunny, if it touches a carrot or a mushroom or a bee, you want different things to happen in the game. So this, what you're going to learn in this lesson is super important. So let's go. Let's go to the next one. This is the block that you're going to learn. It's called random number. Okay, so let's get on to the next part. Okay, here we are in the very next uh, lesson, the bubble, which is lesson 6, part 2. And let's take a look at what's going on here. Okay, it says you have a new block in the math drawer called random number. Okay, if we look in the math drawer right here, we see there's our block, random number. Okay, it says if you make your drawings with random numbers, it will look a little bit different every time you run your program. You can learn about the block by hovering over it and choosing See Examples. So, for example, we could hover over this, and then we could go over here, and we could click this that says See Examples, and it will show us, for example, different instances of the random number block being used in code. You can take a look at it. You can read through this. You don't have to, but you can. Okay? But for this lesson, what we're going to do, it says do this, run the program to see how it works. Okay, so you run the program. And you see that there is a like coral colored background, kind of a reddish background with an orange ellipse. Okay, then it says change the, well, you can reset it and run it again, reset it and run it again. You can see that the orange dot is appearing in different places on the screen every time we run the program. That's by design. It says change the numbers inside the random number block and run the code again to see what changes. So, for example, this random number block right here is saying that the x coordinate can be anything between 0 and 400, and then the y coordinate will be 200, and it will be 50 wide by 50 tall. So this is telling the program that the dot can move anywhere from side to side along one line, basically at y equals 200. It can be anywhere from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. So if I change this to, like, I don't know, 200, 300, then you're going to see the dot is only going to be able to appear between x equals 200 and x equals 300. It won't be able to go from 0 to 400. It can only go from 200 to 300. So you'll be able, if you run it, you'll always see that dot basically in the same part of the screen, which is like in the a little past halfway across. And that's because I set the numbers so that the random number is never bigger than 300, it's never smaller than 200. So that's it, boys and girls. That's the easy introduction to random numbers. That's how it works. You can change the numbers to anything you want and see how it works. You could also drag a random number block into the y coordinate slot right there and change how high and how low the dot appears. But I have a feeling we're going to get into that in the next lesson. All right, so let's go.